Hi guys, and welcome to Cartoon Workshop. So today we're going to be learning how to draw cartoons, and it's just the basics. So let's get started. Let me introduce myself. So I'm Kirtana, I'm a freshman, and I'm passionate about science and art. So in this workshop, we're going to be, as I mentioned before, teaching you how to draw cartoons, just the basics. So before we get into the course, I'm going to talk a little bit about DYC. So DYC is the organization I'm part of, and through this organization, you can gain volunteer hours. It's a nonprofit. Basically, you can just take any skill that you have, public speaking, coding, dancing, any skill, and just share it. That's by teaching people about it. And if you want to get involved, you can always send an email to this email address, info@designyourcareers.org, or you can go to the website Design Your Career, and you can join DYC and start your own workshop. Okay, so cartoon course description. All right, so the summary about this course, it's a course where you can learn about the basics of cartoons. If you're interested, you can participate and learn how to draw face shapes, animals, emotions. You learn how to draw negative and positive emotions, make distinct faces for characters, and you're going to bring, for this class, you will need a notebook, pencil, and eraser. If you want, you may bring color pencil or markers. This is optional, but if you just want to add color to your drawings, that's completely fine. You don't need a notebook, you could just bring paper, so just keep that in mind. Okay, animals. So, this is our first lesson, and we're going to be drawing 4 animals. The animals are the monkey, panda, dog, and elephant. The objective of this is to help you, learn how to draw different face types. So this is for animals, not people, but this is just an example of what face shapes are. For example, this she has a more rectangular kind of face, like it's a bit less curved, and then this is an oval kind of face, right? Like it's a bit more curved. So yeah, and that's what I mean by face shapes. So we're gonna just gain familiarity with these face shapes. All right, so expressions and emotions. We'll be learning how to draw using emojis, and you're going to be using eyebrows and eyes a lot. So just the variation in eyebrows and eyes do help a lot in expressing characters' emotion. For example, these two have the similar eyes, right? But the fact that they're accompanied by a frown and color makes a great difference too. So the color of the face is important in expressing the emotion. All right, so next up is people. We'll be learning how to draw people using different characteristics. And we can use different hairstyles and clothes and accessories to express how they feel, and use the emotions and expressions we learned to draw before. So a lot of times when you're creating a character, you want them to be distinct from another character so that the audience, understands which character is which. And that's exactly what we're going to be learning here. All right, guys, thank you for attending. Thank you so much for attending my workshop, and thank you so much. All right. Hi guys, welcome to Art Workshop. Quick introduction here. My name is Kirtana and I'm a freshman. I like art and science, and in this workshop we're going to be focusing on art, and I'm going to teach you how to draw cartoons and animals people, expressions. So, first of all, in today's session, we're going to start off with animals. But before that, I want to give the course description. So, by the end of this workshop, you're going to know how to draw different expressions, animals, and human faces. So let's get started. And I'm going to introduce you to the materials you need. You need a pencil. You need, of course, paper as shown here. And you need an eraser. Now you can use pen if you want to, right? You totally can. But I would recommend that you use pencil and eraser instead, because if you make a mistake with pen, you'll have to use whiteout, and that'll be a bit of a hassle. So just use pencil and eraser. Also, if you want, this is optional, you can get color pencils or markers or something if you want, but the bare minimum requirements would just be pencil, eraser, and a paper, as I'm using. So without further ado, let's get started. So, okay. Alright, so this is session 1. Let's write that down. There we go. So, session 1. Alright, and in this session, we're going to draw 4 animals to learn how to draw different face types, because all these animals have different face types, and that way it makes it easier to draw different face types. It gives you practice. So I'm going to draw like 4 boxes just to make sure that we have enough space. I'm using a ruler here. You can practically just draw lines. You don't necessarily need a ruler. I'm just using a ruler for just convenience. And there we go. We have our 4 boxes. Great, so let's start out with the most well-known animal, the dog. So how we're going to start over here is we're going to start off drawing an upside down pear. So you sort of have the curve, and then this is going to be where the nose is. And then try to make it as symmetric as possible, but it doesn't need to be completely symmetric, because remember, this is a cartoon, right? As long as your audience can tell it's a dog, you should be fine. So now we've got like the head, well, almost. We're gonna add in our ears. So I'm gonna draw these floppy looking ears, these downward pointing ears. I mean, of course, if you want to draw, say, a dog with ears that are pointing upwards, I'm just gonna lightly sketch here, like this, you could totally do that, right? Like, that could be what you want, the type of dog you want. But as for now, I'm not gonna worry about that. I want my dog to have floppy looking ears, which is why I'm not going to give him those ears that are pointing upward. So now we have our head, and now we're going to the face. So let's create a partition between the eyes and the nose and mouth. There we go. Alright. So now that we have that, we're gonna add the eyes. Now I'm using oval eyes here. I'm using oval eyes. But you can use circular eyes, you can use whatever eyes, as long as you're comfortable with drawing them. Doesn't really matter, as long as your audience can tell that, hey, this is an eye of a dog. So now that we've got our eyes, we're gonna draw our little nose, right? Just to make them understand this is a dog. So here you go. Alright. Alright. Now we're gonna color that in. Well, not color it, but you get the idea. Just make it dark. And yeah, let me try that again. So as you can see, I just made a mistake. It's fine to make mistakes. Doesn't have to be perfect on the first try. So now I made a better one, and here you go. You got our dog. But if you want to add a little bit more detail, which is what I'm going to do, I'm going to shade this partition lightly, very lightly, because I don't want it to be as dark as the nose, in which case you won't be able to tell the nose and the partition apart, and we do not want that. So it's an in-between light gray kind of color. And we're gonna just keep going. Alright, keep going until we cover the whole partition up. And as I said before, I made this area too dark, which is why I'm gonna have to redo it to make it a lighter color. There we go. That's a bit better. And I'm gonna have to re-color this place a little bit more darker. And boom, you've got yourself your colored partition. And now we're going to color the floppy ears the same way to give it a sense of symmetry. So we've done our right ear, now it's our left ear. Now again, you can use color for this. You can use the brown, you can use, I don't know, some other color for this, but I'm just using pencil here just because it's easier to show what you can do just with a pencil, right? Alright, so now we've got ourselves our dog. Okay, moving on to our next animal, we're going to be focusing on elephants. I know that you'd expect me to go to a cat or something, but we're gonna draw an elephant. So, starting off with an elephant, we want to go for a face shape that's sort of a squarish face shape. It's kind of like a trapezoid. So it's a very unique face shape because you usually expect faces to usually be round. In most animals, it's not like you've ever seen a face that's completely, you know, cubed or anything. But as for drawing the elephant, we're gonna have this square face shape, sort of. Well, alright, now that we've got our face and we've got our trunk, because just to show, because an elephant would be an elephant without a trunk. Now that we've got that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in our ears. Now, just as with the dog, it depends what your style is and what you want to draw. For example, you could have ears like this. This is a more cartoony elephant. If you want to go and be a little bit more realistic, you could draw these ears. There we go. And then you could add the same thing that I did with the bear ear. By the way, that one's called a bear ear. I just like to call it that. So yeah, there we go. We got our ears, we got our face. Sorry, I mean head. And now what we're going to do is we're going to erase any of the random lines I made. And we're going to add details to the trunk. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Now, the reason these lines aren't exactly curved, but they aren't exactly straight either, is to give a sense of texture over here, just to emphasize the trunk. And now what we're going to do is we are going to add round eyes. So last time with the dog, we practiced using oval eyes, but this time we're going to practice using round eyes. So we're going to have our pupils, so our elephant is going to have pupils, and as a result, we're going to, there we go. Boom. So now, there's a tiny little space here to show that it's not a complete pupil. And we're going to color in the other pupil. And there you have it. You have our elephant, but he's not complete yet because we're going to add in our trunk. But before that, we're going to erase the very parts here just to make the tusks, tusks look clean. And you want to have these tusks sort of pointed in opposite directions. Try to make them as symmetrical as possible. I mean, these aren't perfectly symmetrical, but you can. There you go. That's good enough. Now people can tell that this is an elephant. So we're going to label it elephant. Moving on. Well, our dog's in camera again. But what we're really focusing on here is we're going to draw a monkey. This will help you in drawing human faces, because human faces, well, at least in cartoons, monkeys and humans usually both have roundish faces. So, one second. So, drawing a round face could really help you in drawing humans too. Alright, so now let's go for a bigger circle. Now, we're gonna draw this circle. It doesn't need to be a perfect circle. You don't need like tools and stencils or anything like that. Just roughly sketch out a circle. Now that you've got that, all you need to do is you need to draw a sort of 3-petal flower. Alright, it's like a 3-petal flower. And this 3-petal flower, oops, there you go, I made a mistake. This 3-petal flower is going to be where the eyes and the nose and the mouth are located. Yeah, so there we have it. You have where the face is going to be in the monkey, and we're going to draw our ears. Again, we want our ears to be as symmetrical as possible, but if you do make a mistake, don't worry, because it's okay if things are asymmetrical. It does not have to be completely symmetrical. It does not have to be perfect. So, there we go. We have our head. Now we will draw our round eyes. And last time we draw pupils, but this time it's going to be like these tiny little white pupils instead of black. So those cutesy kind of eyes is what we're going for here. So we're going to draw a little white dots there, and we're going to color around these white dots. Okay, keep going until you're done. Again, you could use black, you could use different colors. Or for the eyes, you could use black, and for the monkey, you could use different colors. But here I am just using black and white to just show you how you can draw. Pro tip, if you're planning on doing these and making, like actually coloring them, I would recommend that you use pencil first, and then maybe you can trace with pen or something. That way, even if you make a mistake, you can still erase it. Now we've got ourselves our monkey after adding 2 smaller dots and a curved line for a smile. And we've got ourselves our monkey. Now we're going to focus on our last animal for today, which is going to be a panda. Now pandas, well, pandas are a bear, right? So this face shape will help you draw all sorts of bears, whether it may be a polar bear or some other, I don't know, grizzly bear. So you guys can draw practically any bear with this face shape, which is why we're trying this panda today. Also because the panda is black and white and I'm using pencil, so that was also another reason. There we have it. So we have this curved sort of line, and now we're going to draw another curved line and another curved line. You want them to be sort of symmetrical, right? Try your best to make them symmetrical, as I told you before. And now we're going to connect these 2 lines. Well, that didn't work, but we're going to connect these 2 lines. Alright. So, now that we've finished connecting these 2 lines, all we're going to do is we are going to add little ears on the top. Now you want these ears to be symmetrical, but they don't have to be completely symmetrical. As you can see, they're not perfectly symmetrical, but you can kind of tell that they're a pretty good deal. And now we're going to color these ears in, because pandas have black ears. So again, you could use actual black. I'm just using pencil here. So colors are really optional. You don't really need them for this workshop, but if you want to have them, you can, is all I'm saying. So, and then we're going to do the same thing to the other ear. And now you've got our 2 ears. Now we're going to have them draw little dot eyes. Alright. And now we're going to take draw this upside down triangle of sorts, and then we're gonna do this. You guys must have often seen this for many animals, even cats, right? They usually have this sort of thing for a mouth. So upside down triangle, 2 curved lines coming from the mid, like the pointy part, like this part of the triangle. And now we're gonna shade this part, this upside down triangle in. And boom, but we're almost there, but we're not exactly done yet. We're gonna draw this. And we're going to color these circles black. as in the color of the ears and the color of the upside down triangle. So keep going. We're going to, another thing about it, if you want to make it look a tiny bit asymmetrical just for adding flavor, you can sort of make this one bigger than the other. Alright, and then there we go. You can color it a little bit more, and then we can color this one in, because pandas have black circles around their eyes. Alright, and as with eyes, I can sort of just lightly shade them so that you can tell that these are eyes, but they're still not left unshaded. Draw an outline around these eyes, maybe color this area more so there's a clear distinction between the eyes and the black patches. And there you've got yourselves a panda. Now, let's say you want to make, let's say you put these characters in a comic or something, and you want to make the audience realize that it's a female dog, right? How are you gonna do that? Well, when in doubt, think of Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. Because Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, they practically look the same, right? You can't, if they change their clothes, you wouldn't be necessarily able to tell which character is which. The only way you can tell them is because they wear certain clothes that may be considered masculine or feminine. As a result, you're able to tell, right, which one's which. The same thing we're going to try here. Let's say I want this dog to be male, alright, like a young male or something, like a teenage dog sort of. You can just draw this tuft. This sort of makes them look like they're younger for some reason. I mean, I don't know exactly why, but they do look younger. So, I mean, this is often something I've seen in cartoons and stuff. So this way, your audience sort of knows that it's a young male. Can females not have hair like that? They can if they choose to, but this is just an indication. Same thing, let's say you want your elephant to be female. You can draw our classic bow, right? You can draw a classic bow. Maybe you can color it in a different color, something, I don't know, yellow, blue, pink, whatever, right? You can color it, and you can add lashes. Now, can men not have long lashes? They can. Can men not wear bows? They can if they choose to, right? But this is just an indication that this elephant is female, right? Maybe you want a female elephant character, I don't know. So it's just, these are two ways you can visually express that the character is male or female without actually having to narrate it or say it. Alright, that was it for session 1. I'm thankful that you guys joined me today, and bye! Hey guys, welcome to session 2. So let's get started. In this one, we're gonna be learning how to draw expressions and human faces. Okay, so how to draw people and how to draw expressions. Now, when you're telling a story, you need dialogue, and when the character is talking, the characters that they're talking to might react or might say something or something like that that you want to add in your story, And that's where expressions themselves come in. So what we're gonna do right now is learn how to draw some simple expressions, and this way you'll be able, to, when you draw your characters, you'll be able to express what emotion that they're having pretty well. Now, let's start. Okay. So let's start with some positivity, some positive emotions. We're going to be drawing some emojis just to understand, and we're only going to be focusing on the expression, not the face, but the expression itself. Now, let's start with our circle. It's not perfectly symmetrical or anything, just a circle. And we're going to start with our first emotion, which is a smile. So, drawing the eyes, drawing another eye, and we've got a curved line for a smile. Alright, that was pretty easy, right? Maybe you want to add that they are kind of a bit more emphasis. That way, you can use their eyebrows to show that they're feeling a bit happy. Now, these eyebrows that pointed like this, these eyebrows help emphasize that this emoji is happy or smiling. Basically, they're in a good mood, right? Next up, we're gonna have something a bit more positive, like laughing, or where you might show the teeth, or you might open your mouth. So again, we've got our eyes, and boom. Now you can just have all teeth, like, ta-da, they're opening their mouth and they have their teeth closed. Or you could sort of draw a tongue, maybe to indicate that they're talking while they're smiling or something. It's supposed to be a tongue, by the way. And it doesn't seem like a tongue because I haven't colored it red. Here, let me get a red pen. Like, you don't need to do this, but... Oh great, I do not have a red pen. Here we go, let's take a blue pen instead. So pretend this is red. And we're gonna color the tongue blue. Alright, this way you can sort of tell that it's the tongue. It gives a distinction between the mouth part and the actual tongue. Okay, so now that we've got ourselves sort of talking, oh, what did I do there? Alright, sort of talking, laughing face. There we go. Now, we're going to move on. Let's say someone said a really funny joke, and the character whom they said the joke to is like dying over the joke, like really, really laughing so much. In this case, eyes are very helpful. Alright, so you can do two types. You could have eyebrows, alright, and then you could draw their eyes closed, because a lot of people, when they're laughing really hard, they have their eyes closed. And to indicate that, you could draw these curved lines, and you can then draw this line and another curved line to show the mouth, and you can connect it with our talking, laughing face. So boom, boom. And now we're gonna draw, well, not draw, but like we're gonna shade in the mouth part just to give it a clear distinction. And now we've got ourselves someone who's, and just to add, we're gonna just say laughing a lot, right? And just to emphasize it, we're going to add some tears, like they're laughing so hard that they're crying tears of joy almost, is sort of thing. Now, you could do this face, or you could do this. You could have this eyes, like these eyes, like sort of like greater than, less than signs. And we can have this. Same face, same mouth, this. And here, what they're doing is you can have our circular face, have two tears running down, and boom. Oh wait, 1 second. Laughing a lot. So in these ways, you do realize that basically eyes and eyebrows are extremely expressive in terms of drawing emotion. Like here, we've got ourselves the same mouth, basically, right? But the eyes were round instead of being semicircles, and there were no eyebrows or tears, which is what changed this emoji to this emoji. And that really changes what a character is expressing. Now, moving on to some negative emotions. Why not try anger? So, let's start with our round face. And now let me tell you something that is very easy to do. To express an angry face, all you need to do, and I repeat, all you need to do is draw eyebrows like these. Literal lines, except one is going down, and one is pointing to the right, and one is pointing to the left. So now we've got that. You can have our little eyes, our round eyes, and a frowny face. So now that you know that they're kind of annoyed, right? You know that they're annoyed. But let's say they're real mad, right? Like the character is super angry. If you want to express that, you can sort of have these eyes. These are typical emoji eyes, by the way. You can have these eyes. And add these eyebrows, have them talk, and color this entire thing red. Now, you don't actually need to color it red, but this already expressed that it's pretty angry. But if you color it red, it emphasizes this because often red in emojis is used to express the anger of that emoji, right? Now, do people actually turn completely red when they're mad? No, but it's a sort of visual language. You know, making a reference back to my first session. Let's say that you're afraid. Now, for afraid, it's the exact opposite of the sad eyebrows. You're gonna have these. Instead of it facing sort of inwards, these eyebrows are sort of outwards. And now you can draw our little circle eyes. Maybe sort of have them sort of lightly open their mouth in a frowny face. And you can sort of draw a teardrop over here, except this time it's not actually tears, it's sweat, because when people are afraid, they might sweat, and that's where that comes from. And you could shade the top forehead blue, right? Actually, I actually have a blue, so let me do this. 1 sec. Let me erase this a little bit, and let me try it with the blue. Now, you can use pen, you can use marker, whatever, as long as it indicates blue. So we have our blue little teardrop here. I'm gonna shade this blue. And that sort of indicates that, hey, they might be afraid. Purple could also work. A purplish blue could also work here. And this blue color can indicate fear or stress or tension. So main key points here, we have our drop of sweat. We have our eyebrows like this. And lastly, we have our blue to represent fear. Now there are different levels of an emotion. You could have the exact same thing, right? And if you're going to show a very close emotion to fear, maybe shock, just draw your eyebrows like this, draw their eyes like this. So far it looks like a pretty normal emoji, like a very normal emotion. And then draw their mouth like this. Then, well, I'm not going to add blue this time, but you get the idea. This is blue. Oh dear. Shock. Right? It's like something happened. So there you go. Shock, right? And we're using the same technique here, except this time we're having a different eyebrow and a slightly more wide mouth. Now let's have something, maybe it's like someone's cringing or someone's like, ugh, right? And you want to draw that, you could circle, have those fear eyebrows, greater than, less than sign as eyes. Oh wait, that was terrible. One sec. Greater than, less than sign. So we got 1 and we got 2. I think that's a little bit better. And now we can draw this sort of this zigzaggy line. And now we've got, like, I don't know, cringe. And let's say someone is sick, like they're gonna throw up. You're gonna draw our greater than, less than signs. And now you're going to draw this, you're gonna draw this, you're gonna connect them. And now it looks like their cheeks are all puffed up and that they're gonna throw up. That's what we're going for here. And you can color this emoji green to further emphasize that they are sick, that they're gonna throw up, they're gonna hurl or something. So yeah, there we have it, a lot of negative emotions. Now let's say that you want to represent the characteristic of a person, like you want to represent that they're cool. Now, that's a very cliche emoji for that one. Just draw an emoji with sunglasses, literally a line and then 2 curved lines, and then color in to show the sunglasses, and boom, you've got yourself a cool emoji. Now, do cool people wear sunglasses? I mean, they can, but it's not like people are walking around being like, hey, I wear sunglasses, so I'm cool. No, but it's just a representation of being cool, right? So color those black sunglasses. Maybe you want to represent that someone is evil. Have these sort of eyes. Have these. Sorry, I meant these are eyebrows and then these are eyes. Sort of have these sort of human eyes. Like before we were just drawing round eyes, right? But this time, actually using more human looking eyes. And here we have our smile. And this certainly makes you look evil. Maybe you want to add an extra little touch, just draw those devil horns. Boom. And color this red, like this entire thing red. and now you've got yourself an evil person. Same way, you can just, do the same thing, and this shows that they're evil. Not evil people actually have horns, and are they red? No, but it's just a representation. Yeah. So now that we're done with that, we're gonna move on to, so we're gonna move on to people. As for people, you can practically start with any sort of face shape, right? I like to use the U face shape, but if you want to do something else, then that's fine. The U face shape can be drawn from the side. So like this is the face, right? And we're gonna draw in an ear, and we're going to go down, and we have a neck. And now it depends on what kind of hair you want. Maybe you want curly hair, like you're drawing a guy who has really curly hair, and actually wait, there we go. So I'm gonna draw the dude with curly hair, and you're gonna draw maybe an eye, right? Like eyes like that. And let's say he's smiling. Now it's up to you whether you want to draw a nose. I usually don't with my characters, but you totally can. So here we have it. Let's say he is happy. Boom. You got yourself a happy little guy over there with our ear over here. And there we have it, a little happy man. Let's say you want to draw the same thing but a woman. And here we have it, another sort of side U-shaped thing. And there we go. Now you can draw straight hair, curly hair. I'm just gonna draw straight hair, so you can just do that. Maybe she is wearing a bun. With women, you can experiment with a lot of hairstyles. So bun, ponytail, it's up to you. Braid, that's also up to you. Let's make her also be facing the side. Let's say she has big eyes. Eyebrow, smile. There you have it. You have someone facing to the side and speaking, right? And now you've got yourself people. Let's say you want to draw from the front. I'm gonna draw this guy. You could do the same thing for the girl. I'm not gonna repeat it for the girl, but you can practically do the exact same thing. And this time we're gonna sort of curve it here, and we're gonna draw our ears on the side. We're gonna literally do this. Just ta-da, 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 ta-da. Alright, and then we have our little pupils. And we have our mouth. Boom! This is all it takes to draw a person's face. Now, can they have ponytails? Yeah. Can they wear accessories like earrings? Yeah. Can this man, I don't know, have, be wearing like a sort of bandana? Yeah, like, I don't know, some design here. Yeah, so you can customize your and add your characters and add accessories that make them different or distinct from other characters. If all your characters are gonna have like the same face, then I would recommend that you have some distinction, like, oh, this will be the only character that has curly blonde hair, or this will be the only character that wears these type of earrings, something like that, so that your audience, when you draw a comic, they can tell which character is which and they don't have to be confused. Because a lot of times, to make a distinct face that stays, you have to find key features about each character that make that first stand out, and in creating those features you have to make sure that they pop out compared to the other characters, so that when the audience sees them they think, that's a different character. And that way, when the character is speaking something, or like not speaking, I mean saying something or doing something, they know which character is doing it, so that they don't have to be like confused or be like, hey, which character was this again, you know? So you don't want to have similar looking characters. So for example, let's say I put these two in a comic, I can clearly tell, well, this dude is a curly hair guy and this woman is like the straight hair, bun, ponytail, earring woman, right? And this way I can have a clear distinction between them, right? And that was it for session 2.